You. So, what we got going on here is the second time that we're reading this story. It's a pretty short story, so it's not so bad. But I want to take a moment and look up here at the prompt that's going to guide our thinking as we go back through the story today. The climax in a story is when the central conflict or rising action is solved. Analyze how plot and theme relate to one another in Thank You Man by Langston Hughes. Use evidence from the text to support your answer. And here it is again, right? Analyze how plot and theme relate to one another. Well, this background tells you a little something, right? It tells you that they want the blue suede shoes that were popularized in the song and when he published it and how those things are contemporary with one another. But beyond that, not a ton to do with the plot. This part for sure has a lot to do with plot. But whether it has to do with theme is another story, right? She was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but hammer and nails. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and she was walking home when a boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse, right? And then she puts him on the ground. Is that it? Does it have a lot to do with the plot? Yes. Does it have a ton to do with theme, with the lesson? Not quite yet, right? It's mostly action introducing the conflict in the play. Then they have this exchange, right? She firmly gripped him by his shirt. The woman said, "What'd you do that for? I didn't aim to. You lie." By the time two or three people passed, stopped, turned to look, and some stood watching. "If I turn you loose, will you run?" asked the woman. "Yes'm," said the boy. Right? She can't trust him. You could refer to this later in your essay, right? It's got something to do with the main conflict, which is, can we trust? Will Roger ever earn trust or deserve trust? Right? Take a look. "Then I won't turn you loose. Your face is dirty. I got a great mind to wash your face for you. Ain't you got nobody at home to tell you to wash your face? No. It'll get washed this evening." He looked as if he were 14 or 15, frail, willow wild, tennis shoes and blue jeans. The woman said, "You ought to be my son. I could teach you right from wrong." Now, here we do have something that directly addresses that prompt, right? We've got the plot. It's continuing to develop. Can we trust Roger? The big problem is right now we cannot, right? Because he tried to steal her purse. Well, if you were my kid, I'd do this, that, and the other. I'd teach you a lesson. Well, the word lesson and theme are pretty close to one another, nearly synonymous. So this directly addresses the TDA prompt, right? I want to let you take a moment and go back to the other slide. I want you to go back to the original pair deck. And if you could please go to slide 49. Go to slide 49. And I'd like you to take a screenshot of this when we're done working on this together. Okay? And I'll show you where you can use this screenshot later on. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do a student version here on slide 49. Here we go. I'm great. Okay. So one thing I want to do is I want to diagram and use get this thing out of here. I want to diagram this a little bit with you. So we're going to turn it orange, and we're going to go up here, and we're going to find the sentence that's telling us to do something, which is this one right here. Analyze how plot and theme relate to one another in Thank You Man by Langston Hughes. Now that's what we have to do in our essay. What we're going to do is we're going to cross out analyze. We don't need that. How the plot, we can get rid of how to. And now we've got something that looks more like the beginning of a thesis statement or a topic sentence. Plot and theme relate to one another in Thank You Man by Langston Hughes. I'd also like you to take a moment, and here's plot right here. All right, we're going to draw a line to the word plot. Then I'm going to do a different color, orange, and go from life lesson to theme. Perfect, perfect. All right. Plot and theme relate to one another. Well, there we are. There's our plot. There's our theme. Relate to one another in Thank You Man by Langston Hughes when Roger admits to being ashamed. Right? Let's underline that real quick together. Let's go back one. And I'm going to resize that. There we are. So when Roger admits to being ashamed. The conflict that starts the story off is when Roger tries to steal Mrs. Jones' purse. Oh, well, there's a picture of that. There's a picture of that. Tries to steal Miss Jones' purse. Can't be doing that. Oop, not orange. Highlight that blue, please. And then I'd like you to highlight the picture blue. Go around there. But is grabbed and trapped instead. She held him tightly, but when she bent down enough to permit him to stoop and pick up the purse, then she said, "Now, ain't you ashamed of yourself?" And firmly gripped by the shirt front, the boy said, "Yes, sir." Right? Look at this guy, all ashamed over here. And yeah, aren't you ashamed of yourself? Yes, sir, I am. This admission, right? He admits that he did it. Take a look at this picture here, right? One person is denying it, the other person is admitting it. Yeah, I put a hole in the window. Yeah, I tried to steal your purse. Deepens this conflict. And when it comes to conflict, we are once again talking about plot. If, and then, right? So now we know we're analyzing. If he were unashamed, then the moral conflict in Roger's heart, there's conflict again. We've got a little adjective right along with plot. And moral goes along with theme. In Roger's heart would not allow for any lesson learning. Well, there's our theme again. There's our theme. The important lesson, there's our theme of forgiveness. There's our theme. And grace, there's our theme again, can be discovered along this line of conflict. There's our plot of shame and pride. Right? Do you forgive me? Right? At the end, we kind of bring it back to our topic sentence. Okay? Now you're going to press Control and the camera button at the top of the screen, and you can use that as a split screen on slide number, where is this? 25, on slide 25, right? So what are you going to be doing here? You're going to be writing about the relationship between plot and theme and thank you, ma'am, by Langston Hughes. You're going to use this screenshot here and do it. All right. Thanks for watching.